It's my intention to make this a really short video because I just took a look at this, but let me ask you something. One of the founding fathers said, when injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. Do you agree with that? And what is injustice? Who gets to define injustice? I think we already know. Somebody who believes they have a higher claim over your life and property than you, where they're going to reach out their hand and threaten you, harm you, or take your stuff. That's pretty basic. We all know that anybody who is going to do that when you haven't done anything wrong is a violator of the spirit of the Constitution, which is, hey, you're free to do whatever you want, wherever you want, as long as you don't infringe on somebody else's freedoms. But there's a profession out there that actually excels at, and all it does is infringes on people's freedoms, and it has political parasites on board with them, creating laws that empower them even more. And this is one of them, and this is from Arizona. This is from the AZ Mirror. It says House Republicans, and we're going to talk a little bit about the left versus right paradigm lie, which is really, really important because it's a psychological operation that gets people thinking in a groove, in a certain vein where they can't think outside of the ditch that they find themselves in. It says House Republicans approve bill to restrict who can film cops and when. Who can exercise their right to freedom of speech and when? We reserve for ourselves when you can do that. We'll reserve for ourselves the right to tell you when you can or if you can do that. And if we allow, because we're your parents, we're your governmental overlords, we're going to set the parameters. Some people are saying doing so is idiotic and unconstitutional. Experts say you don't have to be an expert to realize that if a cop doesn't want you filming him and is willing to lay hands on you, put handcuffs on, kidnap you, take you down to the station, fingerprint you, and treat you like a felon and throw you into a cage, we all know that that's idiotic. It's unconstitutional. It's unconscionable. It's just amazing to me that people need the experts to tell them what to trust. The science. The science is the way to go, man. Trust the law enforcers. Trust the authorities. The people who took video of the police killing of GF, because, you can't say that if you're a certain channel, and Eric Garner would have faced criminal charges in Arizona under legislation that won approval in the state House of Representatives with only Republican support. Now, here's where the left versus right paradigm comes in. Am I a Democrat? No. Am I a Republican? No, because they're both two wings of the great bird of prey, and that bird of prey is constantly circling around you and me, just waiting for you, picking at you, waiting for you to become a carcass, just laying on the street, somebody who's got no rights, who's been violated all his life and is in a weakened condition. That's when that vulture swoops in. And the vulture that I'm talking about is the left wing vulture and the right wing vulture. Now, all the Democrats, thankfully, are against this. But, when you're against something that's clearly unconstitutional, it just so happens that all the Democrats in the state of Arizona were against it. Well, they're going to call you a leftist libtard. And then they're going to completely dismiss you because you're not a Republican. And the Republicans obviously voted right. This is the cult of personality, too. They embroil themselves and check themselves into the cult of republicanism. Therefore, if the Republicans voted for it, it's got to be right. And if you vote against it, you're a liberal. The dangers of the left versus right paradigm psychological operation. A bill proposed by Fountain Hills Republican Representative John Kavanaugh, who spent decades as a police officer for the Port Authority in New York and New Jersey, might as well be Democrat, would make it unlawful for somebody to film the police from up to 8 feet away while officers are engaging in law enforcement. Hey, what are you doing over there? This is law enforcement activity, and by golly, you're within 8 feet of me. We're taking you down. Whether you were really at 15 feet or 20 feet or whatever, they will set the parameters. Yeah, they say 8 feet, but they're just whittling away, chipping away, completely taking away your rights. And listen to the rationale. The bill originally made it unlawful to film from 15 feet away. However, the bill was amended to 8 feet away to mirror a Superior Court or a Supreme Court ruling regarding the distance protesters could be from abortion clinics, according to Kavanaugh. Constitutional experts and civil rights advocates say the proposed law would be blatantly unconstitutional. You think? Come on, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. You don't even have to know how to get the scotch tape out of the dispenser to understand that this is completely in your face a violation of individual rights, the freedom of press. Courts have upheld that people have a constitutional right to videotape police activity, and we didn't even need that because we already knew that apart from the black robe tyrants of the Supreme Court. And now to say that it's illegal is just idiotic, says this attorney who specializes in media and First Amendment cases, previously told in the Arizona Mirror. This would make the recording of the murder of GF illegal. Yep. Yeah, if you did it in Arizona. And it's House Bill 2319 says that anyone who police order to stop filming but continues to do so would face a Class 3 misdemeanor and be caged. All your freedoms taken away, separated from your family as the breadwinner, where economic terrorism and torment will befall your family for 30 days. And you could lose your job. Oh my God, the police are against him. He must be a felon. He must be a criminal. Because all the sheep just can't think. Obviously, if you went to jail, you deserved it. This is going to wreck people's lives believing this nonsense. The bill passed out of the Arizona House of Representatives Wednesday, that's today, as of the recording of this video, on a 31-28 vote, with Republicans supporting it and Democratic lawmakers in opposition. Well, good. Somebody's got some brain cells rubbing together, creating a little bit of friction in the old cranial structure. An amendment added by the House Appropriations Committee allows, they're your governmental parent. We're going to allow you, we're going to grant you permission, little Ralphie. Ralphie's going to we're going to give him an allowance because we're the overlords. We have a higher claim over the life and property of Ralphie, and we're going to tell him what his parameters are, where he can operate, when he can do it, how many feet he needs to be back. Allows people to film their own interactions with police as long as they're not, quote, interfering with lawful police actions. All the cop has to do is go, hey, you're interfering with lawful police actions, I arbitrarily declare, including searching, handcuffing, or administering a field sobriety test. So you can't record in those instances. So you're going to have to rely on their body cam footage, which they're not going to release to you like that, and it's going to cost you money, and it might be redacted. They might edit it to make them look good and you look bad and guilty. The amendment also allows passengers in a vehicle to film as long as they don't interfere with lawful police actions. Interference, hindrance, obstruction of justice. Never open that door to tyrants. The security and safety of the people will always be the alibi of tyrants, and they're always going to use something as a justification to bolster their claim that you violated a law and you should be taken down. The amendments also limit what couldn't be filmed from closer than 15 feet, questioning a suspicious person, conducting an arrest. The amendment also limits what couldn't be filmed from closer than 15 feet. Questioning a suspicious person. You look awfully suspicious. What makes me suspicious? You got a camera. You're awfully suspicious. Conducting an arrest, issuing a summons, or enforcing the law. Those are pretty broad. And handling an emotionally disturbed or disorderly person who is exhibiting abnormal behavior. I'll tell you what's emotionally disturbed. I'll tell you who's emotionally disturbed. I'll tell you who's psychopathically geared. That's the power-tripping law enforcers who were in that stupid clown costume, thinking they're better than everybody else, taking you down, doing to you what they wouldn't want done to themselves or their loved ones. I don't know, maybe they would want that done to their loved ones. Kavanaugh said he initially got the idea to run the bill because he had seen stories of groups of people going around filming police. That's you guys. I saw you going around thinking you can exercise your rights to film the police. Well, you're wrong. You're dead wrong, boy. We're going to make a law. We're going to call it HB 2319. Let's see if you can get out of that little loophole right there. He said the legislation didn't originate with any police union or advocacy group, though he later told ABC 15 the idea came from a Tucson cop. You know, those stalwarts of integrity over there. He has said the bill is not unconstitutional. Listen to what he says. It's not unconstitutional because it only limits when police can be filmed instead of banning it entirely. So we ban it just a little bit. See, the First Amendment allows it. It says Congress shall make no law abridging what? RAPS, RAPPS, religion, assembly, petition, press, speech. But if we just abridge it a little bit, it's not really technically abridging. So we're not banning it altogether. We're just banning it a little bit. Psychopaths. They're literal psychopaths. It distracts the cop against the person they're making enforcement against. Making enforcement? Kavanaugh said of people videotaping law enforcement, if I banned videotaping, then it'd be unconstitutional, but I'm only banning a little bit. It's limited banning, but it's banning nonetheless, Kavanaugh. Filming of police has played an integral role in helping journalists and researchers learn the breadth of how law enforcement use cover charges to justify the use of excessive force. Let me put that as a different way. Cameras on the streets in the hands of the average men have revealed so much criminal activity and has yielded so many settlement payouts that the cops have decided, at least in Arizona, to get with the politicians, and the politicians have decided, at least on the Republican side, decided to get with the cops and said, tell you what, we got you covered. We got you back, fellow Thin Blue Line members, Freemasonic Brotherhood, policy enforcers. We're going to help you. We're going to help you. The term is often used by defense attorneys to describe the charges used by police to cover up bad behavior or explain away the use of excessive force. Yeah, we've exposed a whole lot with these cameras, and everybody's got one, and the police are scared, and they don't take too kindly to you walking up and recording their activities. Why? Because they're not interested in transparency. Why? Because they don't want their deeds uncovered. Why? Because they're bad deeds. And most people who've got a modicum of common sense knows that they don't want the general public to know that they're involved in criminal activity as they wear that badge, as they're in that costume. That they're not serving and protecting, that they are harassing and collecting. In Chicago, it was found that 2 out of every 3 times the Chicago Police Department used force since 2004, they arrested the person on one of these types of charges. And in 2021, ProPublica investigation found in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, 73% of the time somebody was arrested on a cover charge alone, they were black. So, there's targeting of black people. But more than a racism problem, it's a totalitarianism problem. It's a I believe I'm better than you problem. It's I've got qualified immunity and you don't problem. It's that I operate above the law while I'm calling you a sov sit. While I'm acting as a sov sit. And if you do what I do, if you do what us fellow police officers do, we're taking you down. We're throwing you to the ground. So there's this HB 2319 that just passed the House and it's waiting to go try to pass the Senate in Arizona. I thought I'd let you know about that. If you like these videos, if you want to see more, the best way you can help this channel grow is to give this a like, share it with everybody you know, and leave a comment. That helps me overcome the algorithms. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification as well. I appreciate you guys. If you want to support the channel further, grab one of these hard-hitting, conversation-starting designs you can get from the shirt store. You can put it on a shirt, hoodie, mug, the cell phone case that you're going to use to record the cops with. Maybe you can say something right here like, fudge the police. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video. Subscribe for more tyranny busting content.